Hello, how are you? I'm in Hythe. And do you know the one thing I always think about Hythe is every time I'm here I forget how beautiful it is in its own way. I used to come here a lot as a child. The one word that I would use is underrated. To describe Hythe, totally underrated. And this is in a gorgeous part of the Kent coast really. Near the Romney Marsh area and sort of near Folkestone and Ashford all at once. We're pretty much equidistant. I'm on my way to St Leonard's Church. Let's take a very special look in the crypt. I've got very special access today. Now the public, general public such as yourselves, can access this on certain times of the year. However, it is, as of recording this, autumn, winter time, just walking up Market Hill, and yeah, I've got special access to have it all by myself, which I'm truly honoured and grateful for. So massive thank you to the church for letting me do this. I'm so excited about doing this one. Enjoy your history lesson, and I'll see you on the other side. Take care for now. Bye. Located overlooking the centre of Hythe lies the church of St Leonard. It was built as a Norman church around 1090. There have been many suggestions it could have been Saxon. Either way, like with most churches, it has seen many alterations in its time, and even with these changes you can still see parts of its Norman past hidden within. With all the church's history, today we focus on something truly special: the church's crypt, also known as the Bone House or the Ossuary. It's boasted the largest and best preserved collection of ancient human skulls and bones in Britain. The collection consists of shelves in 4 arched bays that contain 1,000 skulls in total, and a single stack of bones and skulls measuring 7.5 metres in length, 1.8 metres in width and just over 1.8 metres in height. Stack of bones was reassembled on its brick base in 1910. Although over the years many guesses as to how many individuals there are in the crypt, it's been estimated to be around 2,000. And the earliest reference to this atmospheric place is in 1678 by Samuel Jake, the town clerk of Rye, noting it to be an orderly pile of dead men's bones. As well as the earliest drawings that dated to 1787 depicting piles of bones at the crypt's entrance, when analysis was made on the bones from 2009 to 2012, it was found to be a higher proportion of females than males, and nearly 10% of juveniles, dispelling the legends that they were either fallen Saxons from 1066 through to Danish pirates. The true reason as to why they are here is still up in the air, but the best guess is that it's a collection of people not just from around the church but from around the surrounding graveyards of the Hythe area, which had fallen out of use and closed by 1500, with most potentially being dug up by the 13th century when the church was extended eastwards over the previous graves. Either way, with so much mystery left, it's no wonder that with every study taken on them, it hopefully can bring us closer to knowing more about these bones and the individual stories they still have left to tell. Right, so I've made it up to the top of the hill. Lucky I've picked a really good day for it because it's not that windy. Beautiful day actually, an autumnal day today, really signifying that autumnal feel, and especially when you walk through Hythe and the smell of the sort of pubs and their food and the coffee, it's lovely. So I made it. Let's go inside and let's properly check it out. Come on then. Wow, so I'm in, and the moment the door was open, there's just this incredible atmosphere that just hits you as you would expect, really. And yeah, it's a beautiful day today. the sun's relatively shining as much as you can for autumn. But here we are. And these are the infamous skulls. How amazing. We're not allowed to touch them for obvious reasons. But here they are. That says this skull on display in cabinet during 2021. You can see some of them have got, well, most of them have got numbers on them, and I think that's to do with obviously trying to date them, record them. All of them are in complete different condition. I'm obviously not going to go through every single skull with you, but it's just really for you to obviously encourage you to come down here, and as I say, if you can't have the opportunity, that at least you've got an understanding of it. Now, it's obviously the size of this isn't that big, but it's good enough because it just hits you. It really does. So you've got a fantastic information board, which obviously puts into more detail about what I was sort of mentioning. For example, in the history lesson, we did talk about the ratio of males to probable females and sub-adults, or what we call juveniles, 7%, etc. But we're surrounded, really. So the moment, like I said, the moment you walk in, it's on your left and on your right. These incredible skulls. Somebody's put a little robin in that one. How amazing. Wow. Let's keep looking. So, the moment I walk through this corridor again, as you'd expect, the atmosphere changes again. It's like you're almost walking through this really weird wall of sort of like energy in a strange way. I don't mean that necessarily in a spiritual way. It just really does hit you. But look, it's just, well, it's bones, isn't it? I mean, it's, you know, like we were sort of saying, it's a very similar experience if you were to go to the catacombs. You know, these bones and obviously the skulls that sort of poke out within these bones. And I mean, they're right at the floor. And then obviously mounted on, you can see a little brick like plinth. Ugh. But there they are, all in there. On your right, as you walk, you've got this information board, and then there's some bottom jaws there, lower jaws. But here we go. It says one of these two skulls on the right is probably of African origin, and they were actually we knew that the guy was showing me, we just had a wonderful conversation, was saying actually about that they reckon that they dated two of these skulls to potential African origin. So even back in possibly the 13th century, bit later, we still had, obviously Hythe was still a communal point to potentially come off and then head towards Canterbury. So you would get a lot of travellers. And I think that these skulls, for example, you know, it says Africans could have come to Hythe as it was a medieval trading port. And obviously, like we were sort of mentioning, was that it's also probable that they were also travelling potentially to Canterbury, which obviously, well, Canterbury is a religious hub as well as obviously being a huge, well, it's a city, isn't it, really? This is teeth worn down on both sides, possibly due to regular use of occupational tasks. I could go through all of these with you, but I just would like to encourage you all to go. This mandible is from a child who died about the age of 11. All of the deciduous, is it how we're going to call it? Baby teeth have fallen out. Not all are permanent. Adult teeth brackets have fully erupted. And it's the maxilla. I'm not a teeth expert, by the way, so apologise for my pronunciation. This is of a young adult with a number of teeth still remaining. The third molars, or the wisdom teeth, have only just emerged. Whew. We don't like wisdom teeth, do we? I've still got 3 of mine. I can't believe that I still kept them. But my word, when that one got taken out. Oh dear. Strange how this one's got a completely different colour to the rest, and it really is sort of it's very haunting. It's almost like it's the dominant skull of the group. It really makes your eyes focus on that even more. And well, let's have a look round. Like I said, we'll come back to the cabinets again, but we just want to aim towards the back. We've got the gardening coming out at the moment. The gardeners are out in the graveyard at the moment. They're doing the upkeep, so if it starts to get a bit noisy, I do apologise. But here we are on the opposite side. It says these are our ancestors from 700 years ago, so it says please respect them, and indeed I will. Look at this, it's just now on the floor as well you've got elements of masonry, all different types, and they're all numbered, and I think there's an information board that tells you more as you go round. But here we are, so this is us standing at the back. It's practically a mirror image. I mean, the idea was that originally, if you take away these skulls, this was actually meant to be a passageway through, which it still obviously can be used for. So it was this wonderful passageway that could be linked straight through to get from one end of the church to the other, really. Oh, just amazing. I mean, it's so incredible that I've just had the privilege just to have this all to myself. I mean, that's the thing that I'm really lucky for, is that I can spend a bit of time down here. I can record this for you without worrying that other members of the public are going to be here. You know, I mean, no abstract noise. I'm very grateful for that as well. And obviously, it just gives you an encouragement that if you have been down here, it might be a wonderful reminder. And if you haven't, like I said, it just really tells its own story, doesn't it? Now, I think I was told that this is the corner where the skull, there was some skulls that had been stolen only about 3 years ago, and they've never been recovered. And I think it's from here. So they'd broken in, and they'd just stolen these skulls. And I think actually there's a report on it on the Sun newspaper. I didn't want to put it in the history lesson, because I just wanted to sort of ask and just sort of see if they'd been recovered, because I didn't actually know if they had been recovered or not. But no, they haven't, and I think that's the gap of where they were. So these robbers, or whoever, had come from that door, because that door had been broken into, come all the way in, and that was it in the middle of the night, I reckon. I mean, unbelievable. I'm just always just sort of in myself, wow, okay. Can you imagine if you're a spiritual person as well, and that's your skull, and you're like, hang on a minute, where am I going? Why are you taking me? So you can see some of them have got huge fractures in them. They're reckoning that it might be due to, some of them have got deliberate holes in them. Maybe related to the idea that they were talking about potentially trepanning, which is obviously the idea you drill a hole in your head and it's meant to relieve the pressure in your head if you had like a really bad headache. This was obviously old practice. We don't obviously do that anymore, but the idea was you'd take this, so obviously if you had your skull, you'd have a huge hole there. But also it could have been potentially weapons. We don't, again, it's just so interesting. Look at this. Unbelievable. As we look up, always say remember to look up, and the beautiful arches, the work that goes into this. So there's various loose teeth. Absolutely amazing. It's beautiful colours and the dull light just really adds this sort of strange atmosphere. But it's just, like I said, you could spend hours and hours just looking at these individual bones and these individual skulls. Really does just sort of generate this unusual atmosphere. So again, these wonderful huge cabinets that they've got, just giving you that extra detail. Here we go, there's just some vertebrae that make up the spinal column from different individuals, showing variation in size, age and condition. Brilliant. And as we get to the beginning, obviously this is a collection that's been here since the 17th century. It says help us to conserve it for the future, and hopefully this video will help do that, and obviously at least shine a light on this amazing work that goes on. But it really just, it tells just a totally different story when you'll hear the variation. I mean, like I said, they'd clean them up. So, you know, it's one of these weird things that sort of in the moment you come down here, you expect them to be all dirty and everything, but actually they're really clean. It's very unusual, you know, I don't expect it. And then look, there's an old post, it says, looks like 6 shillings maybe. It says the Crypt admission. Looks like 6. It's 6D maybe, I reckon. Let's walk down it one more time, I reckon. Like I said, it's just this sort of strange, you know, every time you look, you're attracted to a different sort of skull, or you might notice something within the bones. You're constantly looking, but then, in a strange way, they're looking at you too, aren't they? It's very unusual. You feel like you're being watched, but in a very unusual way. And here we are again at the back. Just incredible. Every skull. You generally do feel like you are being watched, but not in a sort of negative way. It's just very unusual. How brilliant. Well, I hope you really like that. I hope you really like this video. I'm just so grateful for the church and their kindness to allow me to film this. It's been brilliant. It's absolutely been so worth it. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video as well. It might not be the longest video in the world ever, but as I say before, this is really predominantly just to encourage you to come down here, if not to shine a light on something very unusual and very unique. But it is, in essence, a pile of bones. You know, I was debating when I was filming this, I was thinking, how do I film a pile of bones and make it interesting? I'm like, I'm not sure I can. I can just only highlight the fact if you've got these interesting skulls and these bones, and the history that goes with it is obviously the most important thing. But how do you do that? How do you do that? Well, hopefully I've done a good enough job for you. So, there you go. Right. As I depart, in immortal words of Phoenix history, thank you so much for your kindness, your patience and your support. Love to all of you out there. In immortal words of Phoenix history, because history matters, love to all of you out there. Take care, and I'll see you all very soon. Remember to spread the word of the channel, and hopefully we won't be in another place where there's any skulls or anything anytime soon, unless I do go to France. So we might have to plan that for another trip and then see if we can link these up. That would be brilliant, wouldn't it? You know, the theme of bones as a series, that would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? See, it's got me inspired now. I feel like I need to do that. Right, take care, everybody. I'll see you all very soon. Bye for now. Kapow.